Arjun Erigaisi and Levon Aronian. They have played against each other so many times and have traded blows. Sometimes it's Arjun who has won, sometimes it's Levon, and today at the Satty Zhuldyz tournament, they both take on each other. Levon has the white pieces and off we go. E4 by Levon, E5 by Arjun. Very solid. Knight comes out to F3 and Knight C6. Are we going to see the Ruy Lopez or the Italian? Well, Italian it is. Bishop to C4. Arjun develops his knight and Levon plays the very solid D3 system. It's a very solid opening with Bishop C4, Bishop C5 and all these symmetrical stuff. But the only difference is that there's a knight on C6 while white has put a pawn on C3, and with that white hopes to claim for a small edge out of the opening. Levon brings his rook to E1. The plan is simply to get his knight from D2 to F1 to G3 later. First, a little pawn move on the king side, H3, and a typical regrouping move to bring the knight to G6, because the knight on C6 was anyway not doing much. And there you have it, the knight comes to G6. This is well known stuff. There have been several games that have reached this position. Now Levon brings his bishop back to D3 and just defends the pawn on E4. It's a very slow maneuvering game, and also it's both sides have to be very careful how they build this up. C6 played by Arjun, and now the queen goes to C2. One way that black can start playing is to get the knight to H5 and then to F4. Levon brings his bishop to E3. Notice how he defended his pawn on E4, brought his bishop, and now wants to get his knight to D2. But Arjun is beginning his play on the king side with knight H5, with the knight coming here and the queen coming out and the bishop looking here. It can lead to a dangerous attack. Levon has to remain careful here. As you can see, Levon is taking some time on the clock here and goes knight D2. He finishes his development. But can Arjun simply now jump in with his knight? Most likely Levon would then go bishop F1. But Arjun first plays bishop C7. His plan could be to go for the D5 break. The bishop now drops back to F1. Good move by Levon. He is getting ready for a knight jump to F4. But Arjun brings his other knight to F4. This is actually a blunder, because now Levon can go G4 and then knight moves bishop F4 and E5, and it's already a huge advantage. But Levon doesn't do that. He plays A4, which is not the best move. He should have played there G4, and look at Arjun. He's pushed his pawn to G5. There you have it, Arjun Erigaisi going for an all-out attack on the king side while Levon playing on the queen side. This is such an exciting encounter. What would Arjun do now? King H8, Rook G8, queen here, pawn push. He first brings his queen out to F6, which is a strong move. Levon is under great pressure here. He wants to play G3 and kick the knight off, but then the H3 pawn falls. So it's actually not so simple what to do. And so he plays his pawn to C4. But that doesn't solve his kingside issues, does it? Now Arjun can push his pawn to G4. Or he can bring his king to H8. And then Rook G8. What does he do? Arjun pushes his pawn to G4. H takes G4 and brings his bishop in with 1, 2, 3 and 4 pieces around the king. This is turning into a very dangerous attack. Levon must remain careful. Maybe one way is to get his knight out from here, but he goes G3 and he's like, get your knight out from here. But you know what? The knight doesn't need to move, because when you take this, pawn takes and the bishop is trapped. There you see Arjun not even moving his knight. It goes to H8 and his plan is to bring his rook to G8. Goes DE, DE played here. And now, what do? As Levon, he's under big pressure here. He brings his knight to H2, but he knows that he's in massive trouble. Rook comes in. Now one more piece joins the attack. It's 5 pieces which are getting into the attack. King to H1 played, And now Arjun can simply double his rooks. Rook g6, rook here, because you are really not afraid of this capture on f4. Knight comes back to e6. Arjun actually moves his knight away. He wants to put his knight on d4, which is also a beautiful outpost for the black pieces. In all ways, Arjun has a brilliant position here. Bishop comes to g2 and the knight jumps in to d4 here. The queen is attacked next, and where does it move? Levon plays his queen to b2 and makes the best move of the game. He offers a draw to Arjun. Well, Arjun need not take it. He can push a5. He can play b6. He can do many things, but Arjun is leading the tournament and he accepts the draw. Levon is like, okay, this is just better for you. We both know it. Why did I do all these things? And it's such a nice animated discussion between the two of them. Well, Arjun drew this game more from the perspective of the tournament standing. Levon made a smart move because he was under big pressure. But what a game it was. It lasted only 24 moves, but already both sides were winning at some point here. And that just goes to show what this rivalry is between Levon and Arjun. Games between them are so much fun to watch. We hope that they have many such games in the years to come.